What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we are currently looking at one of the best due diligence I've ever seen on Wallstreetbets. This is on Draftkings, the stock. It's kind of been beaten up over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but it's performing fairly well, and it has a Scooby snack and a 1990s Batman cartoon outline on front of it. This is considered the Scooby bat signal turnaround play here on the chart. So again, looking again, there's a newer IPO stock, 3-month chart. It has a fantastic potential base opening up to break out well above the pointy ears of Scooby-Doo and Batman. So with all joking aside, let's go ahead and we'll jump into the chart. Again, I know this was a complete little spiel regarding on Draftkings. Again, it's from Wallstreetbets. I thought those was quite hilarious. To give you some little bit of history of Draftkings for myself, we did a little oopsies there on the trading platform for us due to the fact of I thought I got out of it, but I never hit the confirm and send once it broke the 21 on the daily chart here. When the 5 and 8 started across through the 21, I actually wanted to get out around the $35 the limit for my August calls. It didn't happen. Sadly, I still cut half further down, still having a small position in the overall position of DraftKings for August calls. This was a very bullish play on my behalf, kind of coming back and getting pie in my face. Looking for a potential base bottoming here in the sense around the $33 to $32 level. You can kind of see this little makeshift box that I have here, potentially again with lower volumes here between the 4th of July, the upcoming 4th of July week. Just kind of lower volumes kind of coming in, potentially just kind of trading and making here within this rectangle box. That being said, again, DraftKings has only been around for a little bit, again, for 3 months. It's a newer IPO, came public late April. Kind of had a huge run up between the 5 and 8 exponential moving average, breaking out to nearly $45. Then kind of trading sideways, breaking the 21 when some things came out and about of the sports not really opening up. Some potential laws weren't passed in certain states allowing for sports betting and things like that, and it's just kind of been falling off the cliff, lack of better words, for the last 2 weeks. Now, kind of last week and a half, with basically kind of building a base the last 3 days. The story actually looks better when you start looking at the 4-hour chart here. You kind of do see a pattern here arising that is talking about base building, lack of better words. I know I was saying lack of better words a lot. I got a comment on that. The other video was quite funny. I don't even know when I do it, honestly, just what words come out of my brain. That being said, so you can kind of see here with this huge cross between the 5 and 8 exponential moving average crossing through the 21, then through the 50, and then really not finding any support again down to the $32 level. And then kind of trading sideways. The moving averages on the 5 and 8 have started just to kind of curl and start getting parallel. They start seeing the 5 and 8 exponential moving average crossing through the 21, then through the 50, and they're starting to curl slightly to become parallel with the 200 down here. The initial thought was that this whole red candle was pretty bad, and this could potentially continue to bleed lower until like $28. That hasn't happened. As of right now, we're looking for, again, that trading sideways potential. If you're a bull, you wanted to start breaking above this box, which is around 35 to 35.50, and then potentially start breaking above the $36 level, which is where the 21 exponential moving average is. We're seeing momentum kind of battle in between the yellow and red. So if it starts printing a couple days of yellow, that could be a sign of some upcoming volume. The volume oscillator is kind of in positive territory, but it's kind of flat. RSI is down here around 37. Nothing nothing too shabby, nothing too great, honestly. We need to see this around 50 again for some ongoing strength. We're seeing some volume come in here, and so if we look at this chart here, this is a 4-hour chart here as well. We see the last 2 days have been fairly, last 4 hour candlesticks have been green with volume, but again, we're talking super light volume around this base here. What we really need to see is some volume like this that we saw just the beginning of the week, with this huge candlestick up of a lot of momentum coming into the stock, and this is really what kind of formed the start of this little base that we're looking at here, or basically this rectangle here. So if we start seeing some more above average volume coming into the stock on a daily basis, we can put this to a daily chart. So I think the daily basis is around like 18, yeah. So it's the average of the last 20 days. Again, the stock's only been trading for 60 some odd days. The average has been basically around 16 million shares a day, and the last 2 days have been substantially less than that, well below the average. And that could be a start sign of a potential base building, again, looking for that pattern to continue. If you're a bear on this chart, you of course want it to kind of fail at these parabolic SARs, which is around the 35.20 level, and potentially break the lower part of this box, which is around the 31.25, where we had this low wick of the stick here, and then come down to the $28 level. This would start being pursued at looking at basically the TTM squeeze printing more red instead of yellow. Of course, the RSI going even lower, potentially even getting below 20, and same with the volume oscillator continue going to go south and go back into negative territory. These are all different things that we're looking at here as well. If you look on I don't put too much weight into this, I just kind of look at it. So this is actually one of the stocks that is owned by quite a few Robinhood investors. It's on the top 100 list. I think it's nearly 112,000 folks own this stock, and it has been being bought up again this last week or so. It has risen a lot within the overall growth in that section. Not putting any weight to that, it's just some kind of it's a fact. It's growing. It's not a reason for buying or potentially going higher. I think that a lot of weak hands got shooken out here. That really steep week here, the 7 days, potentially got a lot of weak hands, people that weren't really patient, and now kind of building that base here for potential to break out above 36, potentially to even go higher to test that $45 level, if again some things on the fundamental economic side can start coming through, and so forth. That being said, hopefully this was educational. You learned something about this. I really do appreciate you watching this. If you're interested, we have a fantastic Discord that you can completely join for free. Down on the description below, we also have a Patreon page as well if you want to directly support the channel. As well, we'll have another live stream coming this Sunday, probably around 9 Eastern Standard Time p.m. For just looking at some charts, looking at some stocks. We had some really great picks. We talked about Facebook. That again was basically kind of came out, and we were just basically looking at just buying the dip, and that has held the 200-day on the 4-hour chart very well, and now trying to print higher. We also looked at some really great ones that some users came out with, which was the IPHI, which I think there's 2 folks actually mentioned it on Sunday, and then also back to on Monday or Tuesday during the live stream during market hours. We had some folks talk about this stock as well, and this is really kind of potentially breaking out here as well. The 5, 8, and 21 has been performing very well, so we're still we sold some of it this morning on a pretty spike up, but the squeeze hasn't fired long yet, so we're projecting that it could break and get above the 120 level potentially. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know why I guess my target went away when it reached it, so we want to put that back up there. But yeah, that being said, love to see you there. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.